So recently, I went to go and get myself a meal. I was hungry. I needed something to eat. And I went over to this bakery. I saw that they were selling some chicken empanadas and they had some Coke Zero. All I really wanted was just two empanadas and just one can of Coke Zero. A nice simple can of soda and, of course, some two chicken empanadas. But for some reason, the employee was being very rude and disrespectful. And it made no sense to me why, because really, there was only three customers. One of them just wanted a plate of food. I wanted two empanadas. The other one was just chilling on the table eating. There was nobody. I'm thinking to myself, why would you be disrespectful to people who aren't even really bothering you? The person kept walking around, ignoring people who were asking for help, which made no sense to me because nobody was being disrespectful. And I myself wasn't being disrespectful. Like I said, I knew what I wanted. I was going to make it quick in and out. But for some reason, this person was just being very nasty. They kept looking around and making it seem like they don't see anybody. They kept ignoring people. And it really pisses me off because I've worked retail. I know what it's like having to put up with rude customers. I know what it's like putting up with people pleasing managers that suck. I don't like to criticize the employee too much because employees at the end of the day, they're simply just people working under a terrible capitalistic society. Like working retail is an experience that I wish I could, take back. I kind of wish that maybe I had chosen a different position because I had to work in a position where I had to deal with a lot of customers. I thought that because I was getting paid a specific amount, I'd have it easy, I'd handle it. I thought that if I go to a specific area of the store, I wouldn't have to deal with some of the worst customers. I was wrong. The people that I had to put up with were absolutely horrendous, and they had the worst management ever. This manager sucked balls, man. Like, I regret ever choosing that position. And I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but let's just say that it was a position that may look easy, but it fucking sucks dick and balls, I fucking hated everything about it, and I kind of wish that, if I ever go back in time, I definitely would ask for something that doesn't involve talking to customers, because I will be talking about rude customers in the future, and I have a story that I want to share with you guys that involves a very nasty customer that made me lose my shit for the first time ever. One thing I never understood about people is that if you are working a job that you don't like at all, why don't you just simply quit? And I get that the main response is if they quit, they won't be able to cover their bills and whatnot. If they quit, that they'll probably go homeless, because everybody nowadays is financially struggling. We've seen the gas prices, we've seen the economy. It's in one of the worst places right now at this moment. But I really do believe some people should just not work certain jobs if they're going to act like that towards a customer. For you to take your anger out on people who just want to buy things is just not fair to anybody at all. And like I said before, nobody is being disrespectful. I firmly believe that if an employee is being disrespected, they have the right to defend themselves from this disrespect. And it becomes a bigger issue too when that disrespect towards you is being backed up by usually by people pleasing managers. People pleasing managers absolutely suck. These are some of the worst. I've had one. This one dude would please any customer. Mind you, I had a customer screaming at me all because they were I just want to pay $20 for this $24 video game. Like, what do you mean you don't have extra $4? It's just extra $4. And so I spoke with the manager. The manager said, lower the price down to $20, right? They came to a compromise because the dude, for some reason, just couldn't stop complaining about that. And I said, fine. I was going to pay for, I was like, okay, fine. This guy can pay $20 for the $24 video game. It ain't that big of a deal. The manager said it was okay. Everybody said it was okay. I bring the customer over. He starts acting up because apparently I had screamed at him. I did not scream at him. This manager comes over and is like, oh, dude, just make him pay $20. I'm like, yeah, I know. I said he can pay the $20. I never said anything wrong. He's like, no, you were screaming at me. You were being disrespectful. I was like, dude, I did not say shit to you. You know what? I just immediately walked away. I let somebody else handle it, So I do know what that's like. And I will make a video and I will give you a better and more complete story of what really went down with this rude customer. Right now, I want to talk about rude employees. So, I understand why people would get mad. You have terrible management and you have some of the worst people you could be, encountering all the time. Maybe you might have had, maybe you might have slept wrong. Maybe you got shit going on at home. But you shouldn't really be acting this way at all. I think it's important that you breathe in and out. Think to yourself, is it really worth causing more problems in my life just for being disrespectful to everyday people who just want to get a nice hot meal and move on with their days? No. Another thing that I want to talk about with rude employees is the work environment. I hate people who gossip at work. I started noticing that the same lady that was serving us is usually the same one to whisper in other women's ears at the restaurant. Again, I do not condone misogyny, so no, do not be like, oh, of course women, like, no, I'm not going to stand on that. So I want to make that clear. But majority of the work environment was women. So this lady was whispering in another woman's ear who was just working as well. And you could clearly tell they were gossiping. They kept looking over at specific customers and saying a lot of shit in the ear. They were very clearly gossiping. They gossip a lot. I be hearing them talk about other employees too behind each other's backs. It's very, very nasty bakery. And that shit really pisses me off. I don't understand that. Why do restaurant employees love to gossip so much? Like, you can just work. Just do your work. In retail, there was gossiping, but everybody just went back to work. Restaurant employees just seem to love trouble. If it's not people having a HR violating affair, it's just straight up gossiping on each other. And and I know that that's a fucked up thing to say, but the other day, right, I went to like a Burger King as well. Not the day before yesterday. I'm thinking like a week prior. I went to a Burger King because, on the weekends I like to treat myself to something nice while I eat home cooked food for like 6 days in a row. So I go over to Burger King. I'm over here just getting a drink and like maybe a chicken burger or some shit. I don't fucking know. And then these people were just screaming at each other. They were just like saying nasty things. People just wanted to order food. And these employees want to be all ratchet and shit, saying, oh, this and this and that and whatever the fuck. And, oh, you're so dumb. You don't see that right there. Like, I don't care. Oh, my God. Just somebody take my order. It's hot as shit, okay? I live in the South. It's hot as hell. I need a cold drink and I need food. I walked all the way to this Burger King just to get something nice. And these employees are just in my ear for no reason. They aren't even screaming at me. I just said, look, can I just get a nice soda and a chicken burger with fries? And it took forever. That was the longest time I had to wait for food. All because the employees couldn't stop arguing with each other. And then the worst part is that they see the customers. Other employees are like, hey, can you help out this customer? They don't do nothing. They hand me the food. I asked for fucking, I was like, hey, can I get these sauces? Only 2 packets of sauces is all I asked for. I said, can I get just 2 packets of honey mustard? This man is just looking at me for like 5 seconds straight. Like, he just looks at me in the eye, does nothing. And then he just like looks for the packets of sauces that I asked for. And I was like, look, man. I was like, maybe some of you really aren't cut out to work these specific jobs. Damn, the economy is so bad. We have people that shouldn't even be working in certain positions having no choice but to work these jobs. Because that's just how fucked up the world is right now. Okay, so I do want to make it clear. No, I do not judge employees. I don't think you should quit your job if you don't like it. I understand we live in a messed up world. Just that I'd recommend that you go easy on the customers. If you're somebody who has to deal with customers all the time, go easy on them if they're being respectful. Breathe in and out. And please, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Leave a like on the video. I don't know. I just want to talk about this. And the next video will be about rude customers because I know a lot of you might want to hear about that. Thank you.